before going to sleep, we should analyze and reflect. If we don't analyze and reflect, the entire steps, the first part is the Satsang. We say Satsang, this conversation or every session in Eastern wisdom is called Satsang. Satsang means the company of the real. Now the company of the real, then who is real? You or me? No, the real stands apart. That is our real self. Then why this session is known as company of the real? Okay, let me just briefly touch upon that. That's very important. So, why it is says that company of the real, not a formal education in college and university. The teachers also teaches there, so it should also be called the company of the real. What is the difference between the two? What is the difference between the two? So, difference between the first step, because of the Eastern wisdom, you don't study in college, universities, or school. Recently, I heard that Wyoming, a 15-year-old boy, shot dead his girlfriend. That nothing happens like this in the satsang. But yes, that was just a reference. I just read it.
But what's your point? What are you trying to? Why did you bring that up?
Yes, that is very important. And I'm introducing slowly, step by step, a series of teachings for a few minutes in every session. What exactly is satsang? You asked me that what is your point of bringing it up, so that I should continue to act as a teacher of the Eastern wisdom, and you should also continue to act as a seer. But that is only 1% of the answer. Now, one answer. Why it is called the satsang? First thing, the teacher represents the real self of the seeker sitting within the seeker. Here, this teacher is representing the real self that is within you, of which you are not aware, and the teacher is aware. So what is happening in the satsang? So the teacher brings the teachings and the principles of Eastern wisdom to unfold, to remove the ignorance and the impurities of the mind, so that you can be in state of realization. That is one way to say the satsang is there. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So in formal setting, it is not the teacher. This teacher knows 100% that you are the real self. So this teacher also knows that there is nothing to teach.
There's nothing to teach.
Everything is to unfold what is already within you. That does not happen in a classroom setting. That does not happen in a formal setting. That is why it is a satsang. But it becomes the satsang. Yes, we start with the satsang. It took me almost 4 to 5 years For me, maybe more than that, perhaps. I started the journey with my master in 82. Yeah, I would say 87 or 88. I realized inside me as a seeker. It took me 5 to 6 years. I was fool then, and I'm still a fool. So it takes a long time for me to understand these stuff. What used to happen that I used to interrupt because intellectually I was sound. Being a science student, I used to interrupt my master. So after 2 or 3 years, he called me and he said, I am teaching you that is not written in the text. Would you love to listen to me? Paying attention to me, then contemplate and reflect. What I am teaching is going to unfold that you don't know, which is already present in you. You are already there. You are of the nature of the real self. You need not to produce, you need not to create, you need not to add something, you need not to substitute. That is what the Satsang delivers. I promised him that I'm the last guy who will interrupt you, but still I continue to interrupt. Because of the craziness, because the mind is full of that delusion and ignorance. I know I can say that. But once I realized that I'm a seeker, everything finished. And then everything, what he was speaking, became the final for me. I said, that is done. Why it is a final? You have a love for the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom through a teacher. That is why you love it. It is not because, because of the beard, because of the age factor, or because of any other consideration. It is because this teacher of the Eastern wisdom represents that knowledge. That is why we say it is a guru. I told you that guru literally means ignorance to wisdom. Gu, ignorance, ru, wisdom, 2 syllables. Now question is, how a seeker can have any difference with the knowledge? This body, this mind, this age, this God, this is nothing that exists. In Satsang, what exists is that knowledge, the movement of the ignorance and the wisdom. So that is why I had the unconditional love for him. And it took me many years. And because I had that, so I started having the insight. So that revelation, Eastern wisdom says that you have to reach to a state of revelation, insight, by following the simple principles of the Eastern wisdom. You listen to it. From the next session, we will start with the Mangala Charan in every session for a few minutes. So, as you know, Mangala Satsang, that includes the Mangala Charan, resetting the mind every time. So I'm reminding myself, not as a teacher, but also as a seeker, I remind myself this journey is totally different from the journey in the world, in personal life, professional life, social life. You know, husband comes, honey, I love you so much. And the honey is talking to someone else, and the mind has a doubt. Everything is destroyed.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen in satsang. It never happens in satsang. If it happens, think of it why it happens. We will talk later. Why it happens. Why it happens. It doesn't happen there. I was angry and upset over my master also, but at the same time, I had a commitment to myself, to his teaching, two things. And he solved all my hesitation and anger. Come on, we will do it. Another point that is very important, you asked me why. I brought the second point. The real self in you and the real self here, they are born at the same time. They have the exact nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. There is hardly any difference. There is hardly any variation. Don't tell me, you are 68, I'm only 48. You are married, I'm single. No, you are talking at the superficial. At the level of the real self, we are exactly the same. There is no difference between the two. So the teachers of the Eastern wisdom starts transmitting the knowledge from that point of view. Seeker undergoes a process of evolution and gradually reaches to that point, which means that you are evolving. There is hardly any difference. Does all the teachers behave that? Yes, especially those great teachers, always. There is no difference. In formal education, professor teaches with a point of view that, all the crazy students, they don't know anything. Let me teach them. You see the point? It's a very important point. See the point? We never feel that you don't know anything which I know. We don't feel. Not at all. Not at all. We may say, no, you must do these practices, you must follow a discipline, reach to that point. Why? Because what we see, you are the real self, you don't see. So we say, okay, you follow these steps so that you'll be able to see it. That is known as the process of revelation. People come and people go. People come and people go. But you are able to maintain that status quo which reflects in your mind that you are the real self and others are also real. There is hardly any difference. There is hardly any difference. So that is what all the sessions are basically satsang. All the sessions are satsang. So let us start with one more principle today. All actions are done for permanent happiness. Now see that. Let us, whether I get upset or I fight with you, I'm doing it for permanent happiness. Whatever the actions you are doing in your life, the moment you wake up until you fall into sleep, even you sleep for permanent. It's a one universal principle, or you can say motivation or desire. Every to-do list is to be a happy list. So now see what Eastern wisdom is saying. Saying that no, understand whatever you are doing, it is a be happy list. It is not to-do list. It is not that you are fully busy. It is be happy list. Means happiness. You are not doing all the actions to be happy. You are doing all the actions to reveal I am happiness. It is not to be happy. It is I am happy.
I like that.
All masters are crazy, you know. What the hell you are saying? Every action, eating, marrying, divorcing, being single, working, scrolling. One young doctor is there, he belongs to Genji. He says, I cannot prevent myself, looking at the TikTok, My mind, my hands goes there to it. Just, I am seeking every action. So let us follow in a systematic thought process. First thought, why we do anything at all. We are exploring. We are trying to find out. Why? Eastern wisdom says belief pending inquiry. So we don't say that you believe all actions are for the happiness. Don't argue with me. No, argue. Put a reason. So I follow a sequence of the thoughts that will help you to understand. So why we do all actions, any action you can. I eat. Why I eat? Because I want energy. Why I want energy? Because I want to continue the life. Why I want to continue the life? Because I want to be happy. I want to exist. I want to exist. That is why I want to continue that. So ultimately eating leads me also to the happiness. Yes. You are crazy. Why I said you are crazy? Because I find my belief system, which is unverified, that is why I said you are crazy, makes me happy. So when I said you are crazy, my belief system, which is unverified, continues. That makes me happy. That is why I said you. Give me any action. Anything, any action. And that action has three components: my thought process, my speech, and my action. Is going to be one of the most important lessons if you contemplate and reflect. Should I act? Should I not act? Am I acting out of my belief system which is unverified? I will fall into a problem. Definitely, I will have anxiety and duality. But when it is verified, no issue. That is why I just gave you an example. Why eat? For energy. Why energy? To live. Why to live? Because existing happily feels right. Eventually, the mind admits, I just want to be happy. Why I continue to exist? To be happy. So in Satsang, there is no slogan. It is not a slogan, but a principle pending inquiry. So I inquire about myself. Why you teach? Just to be happy. Because I want to remain in touch with mind. When the mind can go crazy, you don't know. So mind, continue to follow. Once a seeker, always a seeker. So in this session, I reveal and manifest happiness. You think I am a teacher, I am not. That is your perception. My perception is totally different. Teacher's perception is totally different. All actions are done for permanent happiness. Why you go to the restroom for happiness?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, very good. So don't go to the restroom.
That would hurt.
So you don't want to get hurt. You want to be happy. You want to be happy. It's simple logic. You find any reason.
The two, but let me ask you this. Going to the restroom is a part of the body. You can't live without going to the restroom. So, I can understand, if I went to go eat a big chocolate cake right now, that's not the same as going to the restroom. One is in the sense. No, hold on.
I want to change the expression what my master used to say a little bit. I'm changing that expression in a different way to you. He used to say you are sitting in a restroom and you evacuate fecal matters easily without being constipated, and you stand up, you say, wow, I am totally relaxed now. Don't you feel that way? If you are constipated?
Yeah.
Huh? Every action points to secure happiness. Why? Happiness is my nature. I don't produce happiness. I don't want to be happy. I don't realize that my nature is happiness. That is why all actions are done. But then what happens? Let us follow the sequence of the thought. Thought number one, why we do anything at all? To find that happiness. But instead of finding that I am happiness, because of ignorance, my mind has created two sets of desires. Two desires in one head.
What are those?
First desire, I want to be happy, present from infancy. Present from the moment my mom delivered this crazy guy out of his womb. So I started crying. I was not at all aware. My mother fed me the milk and I was happy. Original desire. I didn't know. Eating makes me happy, but I cried. So there was a search for happiness. Modern science says there is a search for existence, impulsive nature. Continue, follow this thought process. I want to be happy, present from infancy, before culture, before religion, before social media, before anything in my head. Second set of desire, it is a belief-based desire. From there, the real understanding begins. What is belief-based desire? I am single. If I get married, I'll be happy. My honey is crazy. If I divorce, I'll be happy. World is full of suffering, so it's better to remain single. I have one girl from Ukraine who is single. She always keeps her face so feeling sad. He said, you decided to be single, so you should be happy. So, it's a long story. I will not tell you later in another session. So, you see that? Pay attention. So, we have two sets of desire living in the same mind. One set of desire hides that happiness is my nature. That is why I am seeking happiness. Simple. Simple logic. If my nature is pain, I will be happy with the pain. The moment I have pain and discomfort, I want to get rid of it. It means there is some original desire, and that comes from my real nature. I am happiness. So that is the original desire. But we have a second-hand desire. We install in our life thousands of desires, belief-based desire. To that restaurant, the food makes me happy. This shirt makes me happy. Beard makes me happy. You have millions and millions. I had the guy who was very intelligent and wise, but by mistake, he realized his mistake. So he said in a session, I'm very happy, I had the haircut. I was looking so sad, but now I look smart, so I'm happy. And then he said, No. I'm realizing it has nothing to do with my happiness. I said, yes. It's very intelligent, very wise. He instantly contemplates and reflects. The next moment he said no. So did you understand original desire and the second-hand desire?
Yeah.
I divorce, I will go do this, I will move like this. Second thought. First, why we do anything at all, we are clear. So two sets of desires in one head. Third thought. So Eastern wisdom says Shreyas and Preyas. So this mind which has a two sets of desire, they move in opposite direction. As if you reach to a point T while driving, so you have a right and you have a left. Eastern wisdom says, please understand what is right and what is left. You don't understand, sometimes you choose right and then you return to the left. The left means the second-hand desire based on my belief, which gives me comfort, which gives me pleasure, short-term pleasure, which gives me comfort, short-term comfort, which gives me a sense of security from the world outside. Whether it is a wealth, position, pleasure, relationship, outside, in the world all gives me temporary pleasures. They are belief-based desire to be happy. And happiness, we keep on chasing happiness. We keep on producing happiness. And that happiness doesn't last. How many married are happy? How many single are happy? How many divorced are happy? I don't want to bring your friend who told you what should I do? I have the second child. Love him. What you do? I did not talk about love him. First love him or her, whether it's a baby or baba, and then love yourself. Change the direction. So you have Shreyas path, which helps you to discover that you are happiness. Right. Right path. Left path says, I will be happy if I do this. I will be happy if I marry. I will be happy if I earn so much. If I will be happy if I perform this action. Now link this. Why we perform all the action. Everyone does this. Common to everyone. One is a scientist doing a research in the lab. He wants to be happy by doing research. So 3 thoughts. Don't forget, why we do anything at all, we understood. Because why we do anything because of motivation. The motivation is present in the mind. The motivation is in the form of a desire. So in the second thought, that we have 2 sets of desires. That is very clear, right and left. Now, without understanding that one path takes me to Shreyas, means to discover happiness in me, and the other path continues to ask me, no, I'll act like this. You are fully busy today. Or the next day you have to do the work in building that house, to sell it, to be happy after 6 months of completion of that house. One, we perform all our actions because of the delusion. Oh, we have done. Now you are a builder, great builder. So you're going to build a house. You have imagined in your mind, you see the motivation, thought, speech, and action. So maybe after 6 months, this house will be ready. Oh, then how much I will put it on the market? Maybe $18 million. So you have already dreamed that $18 million and this house together will bring me happiness. It has never happened. You continue to do so. If it happened, tell me. So it means I am seeking one group of the thoughts. I am seeking always that thought contains a desire. That desire demands an effort, and that effort means an action. That is why I perform all the actions to be happy, but it is my mind is misleading me. It is the delusion. It is the impurity of the mind. The opposite of impurity and the delusion is discernment and distraction. That is your 4th thought. So what is that discernment? And it is a mental maturity. What is this mental maturity? I'm very mature. I'm very intelligent. No, being intelligent is one thing, being mentally mature is another thing.
Yeah.
You understand that. So Master says now the fourth thought, how you start with the mental maturity. I will be happy when I do this thing. Oh, yes, that's a real life example. She is a psychotherapist. She has been attending my session for a couple of years. Wonderful. She privately she told me she earns about $500,000 every year. She got a new job. She has a greater responsibility. And she says, I get into anxiety because I'm actually busy now. So I have to take care of my family and I have to complete this job also. So I said, you had a desire to be happy by being carefully busy to have a $500,000, but you never thought you are of the nature of that. So the fourth principle or fourth thought, Master says, we need a mental maturity. Why we need a mental maturity? Because I recognize that whatever the actions that I perform for the sake of happiness is always temporary, short term, it comes and goes. Am I right? Any action that you perform, mindful, meditation is not an action. If you have that thought in your mind. So mental maturity is that I have to upgrade my mind all the time while living daily. I have to filter the desires, that is prayers, that is pleasure seeking, comfort seeking, versus happiness is already within. That mental maturity is required. If we don't have the mental maturity, nothing can be done. A seeker must have this mental, what I said, simple. Impurities of the mind, craziness, laziness, reaction, duality, conflict, delusion on one side. Opposite side is the mental maturity. What is the mental maturity? Belief, pending inquiry. You don't believe any principle of the Eastern wisdom. Let me follow the discernment. I say, okay, let me start with the belief that happiness is within me, and then you start the inquiry. You don't get carried away by unverified belief, deluded belief, impulsive nature, habitual nature that prompts you to act. No way. So, first thought, why we perform all the actions. Second thought, two desires in one mind. Third thought, we categorize these two desires. One, I want to be happy, so I have to chase happiness. Second, original desire, I'm of the nature of happiness, how to unfold it. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
So, but in order to search that, I have to have a mental maturity. Fifth, desire, last week I had this metaphor, that is the thought number 5, the happiness helpline story. Just think, there is a cosmic customer care number. It is called the happiness helpline. And you successfully connected to the cosmic customer care number. I got this metaphor by listening to one of my students. So you are connected. Hello God, I tried job happiness, I tried spouse happiness, I tried single happiness, I tried children happiness, your friend. I tried travel happiness, I tried wealth happiness, I tried position happiness, I tried status happiness. Nothing is giving me full satisfaction and permanent happiness. I want a refund from you. From the other side, the customer care connected you to the God, and the God laughs and says, my dear, you are filing your complaints in the wrong department. These products were from the temporary world private limited. The eternal happiness is hindered by another branch inside you, that is Eastern wisdom. You are misled by your own mind.
Yeah.
That is the starting point of Eastern wisdom. Now you see what the Satsang revealed. Oh, I am of the nature of happiness. Problem is, my friend, problem is, where is the problem? I have a blind belief on things, objects, and relations which are unverified. Because they are unverified, it puts you into delusion. And Eastern wisdom says happiness is your nature. It has been validated, verified by 10,000 masters. We still have a doubt. What should I do with my honey? Do nothing. Do everything with your crazy mind. Don't forget, why we do anything at all our actions are done. We have understood two desires in one mind, two sets of desires, and which is known as in the third thought the shreyas and prayers, the right and the left. Right, I am of the nature of happiness, but I am not able to find it because of the ignorance, because of the duality, and because of the delusion. So if I remove the delusion, it will happen. For what I have to do, I have to reach to a state of mental maturity. The moment my mind seeks desire in delusion, I have to drop it by discernment, not by force. And that is very much authenticated. I authenticated by the fifth thought, the happiness helpline story. What should be the ideal thought in the next days? My master taught us in a different way. In a very traditional setting, we used to sit at his feet 200 people are sitting and he is just talking, giving a lot of examples, and then his way of teaching is totally unique. Obviously, you can say that, because he is my master, that's why I'm saying it. Every master is it. So the next thought is, it means instead of chasing happiness, to have a mental maturity, I have to verify all my belief to find out where the happiness is not and drop. I have to do it. Don't disturb me, I have to do a lot of things, Why? You want to be happy to do a lot of things? So in excitement and anxiety and reaction, I'm awfully busy to be happy? Come on. You start your journey with awfully busyness, the delusion in the mind. It will land you definitely to the delusion. You have to drop it. There is no reason to be awfully busy. The sixth thought means that I have to verify each thought, speech, and action, each action in my life, what I am doing. And that is what entire steps have been created by our masters, where the happiness is not, I'm chasing happiness, there the happiness is not. Because I'm chasing happiness, hence I too have to react, I have to be absolutely busy, I have to do a lot of stuff. My job is not complete. I asked this psychotherapist, can you tell me, in the last, she is around 52 and 53. Don't tell anyone because I told you her age. So, I said, in the last 40 years, can you tell me on a single day when you were not busy? She is very wise. She said, this is a wonderful question and a thought that you gave me. And I have been busy throughout my life. I neglected my physical health. I was taking care of my kids, and long list. And at the end of the result, I'm still busy. I'm still into anxiety. That is why I have approached you. We don't become aware easily where the happiness is not. So that is the sixth thought process. The seventh, now comes the satsang. So when as a person, as a wise person, you reflected on these thoughts, why we do everything, anything at all, actions are leading me to happiness, that is why I perform all the actions. That is the reason I wake up. Two desires in one head, right in the left path. Third thought, I need a mental maturity. So I discussed mental maturity. Mind is always living in discernment and dispassion, or living in delusion, reaction, anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Then I gave you a thought of happiness helpline story. So where the happiness is not, I have to discover, find. I have to examine every belief in my life which is unverified. What is unverified? My honey will give me happiness. He is lucky, he has 2 kids, People don't have the kids and they remain unhappy. And he is distressed. Think of it.
Yeah.
So where the happiness is not, I have covered the 6 thoughts. to remove all the delusion impurities of the mind and to follow the path of the self-discovery. Thought number 7, you need a satsang. That is why I started this talk. Not a lecture. Satsang is not a lecture. From a passive listener, you have to be an active listener. Constant absorbing, contemplation, reflection. Your mind says, oh, your mind may not say, but I normally talk in that manner. Your mind, what a crazy guy, without wealth, how can I be happy? You say wealth is for basic necessities. I was placed by existence to have this amount of the wealth and continue to have the wealth. Thank you. But the wealth does not have a property of happiness. I have verified belief by inquiring. These aspects are clarified and understood in Satsang, the company of the real. Because the master always focus on here is the real, here is the false, here is the real, here is the false. In ordinary teaching, there is no false and real. Whether you are studying physics or chemistry or medicine or astronomy, Satsang. Sang means association, Sat means real. Association with the real. Where are you getting it?
I like that. Is that Sanskrit?
Yeah. Satsang. Sat, real. Sang, association with the real. So it's not a lecture. No session is a lecture in a talk. It is association with the real. So if you're, say for example, if someone's mind reacts, what the heck he is talking about? I have a wonderful wife, I have lot of money, I have a big house, I am driving Ferrari, and I have come to you to find another addition in that happiness. You are wrong. Those people will definitely leave the Eastern wisdom, and they leave it sooner or later. Why? Additional happiness by meditation. Come on, my friend, happiness is your nature. You should have some patience to understand and listen.
Yeah.
So we have done satsang, we haven't done, but for satsang we need 4 factors. Where are those 4 factors? I have to remind myself, I have to remember, I have to digest, I have to assimilate, I have to call my mind back again and again. To what? First factor, the human birth is rare. I know it. That is why I get upset and angry over you. Example. Why rare human birth? These 4 principles are from another master. So I combined it so that I have created a session for you on the satsang. No living species has a choice to discern what is the right path, what is the left path, except the human race. That is why I have a rare human birth. I should not fall into delusion. I can find the wisdom the right path. I should not chase happiness. I should discover the happiness in me. Who tells me as a human being? It is my free intellect that tells me. The intellect in other living species is imprisoned, dictated by the nature's programming. They don't have a choice. The dog doesn't sit in meditation. Your dog doesn't sit in meditation.
No. Oh.
Because they cannot have. So I should remind myself that I have a choice. It has a very deeper meaning. And if you take 1% of the meaning today, you dare your mind to have anxiety, panic attacks, reactions. Intellect has a free choice. Intellect is free. Free means it has a freedom. That freedom is not present in any living species except the human. That is why we have a rare human birth. Second point, we have a rare human birth because I can choose by understanding to follow the knowledge, don't follow the ignorance. Mind, what the heck? Mind, why you are in anxiety? I forget to say this. Because I become anxiety. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I become. That I, the false I become, and delusion takes over my life. So I enter into anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict. I still have a choice. I can choose. When it is lost, it is known as a mental immaturity. So second principle, because the moment I claim I have a mental maturity, I have a rare human birth, and I live with a mental maturity, heaviness in the head, I should not go into panic attacks. Okay, I may fall down. Okay, blood is coming. It's okay. Let me take care of it. I will not remind you the other stuff which you discussed with me. So any time, in any situation, rare human birth means you don't allow the mental immaturity that includes your impulsive, habitual nature, your fear, to take over your mind. You follow the path of discernment. That is the meaning of rare human birth. Discernment has a very big role in the journey of the Eastern wisdom and the journey of self-discovery. Yeah. I'm answering a question again and indirectly, but that is already, it will become very clear. So you have the two principles. The rare, I have to recognize intellect. The intellect, now I'm putting you into this service. I just experienced the anxiety. Let me put myself into intellect. You should come here. Let me put you into the service. The moment you put it, your anxiety is gone. I can promise you. Did I guarantee? Yes. Where I fall into ignorance and delusion, I am dictated by the left-hand path. Seed of seeking happiness, and the pleasure is still present in me, that coin is upside down. Now it is anxiety, panic attacks, reaction, delusion. Here I am chasing happiness. One side of the coin, chasing happiness. Now it turns up. It has to turn on the other side in every relationship, in every activity, in the word of you do whatever you do. Rare human birth. I put into the service. Mental maturity. Now ask your mind, are you busy? No, I'm always free. Is there anything wandering? Oh, I recognize that I'm wandering to chase happiness on 10 different thoughts and activities, but now I recognize the happiness is within me. Now I simply recognize these thoughts are the actions. I need to do it every day. And okay, so there is no issue. Mind is not wandering. Then only I have a third factor. I have a burning desire for awakening. Mind is not scattered. And the fourth factor, to keep that burning desire, to keep that desire of freedom, desire for awakening alive, Master says you have to follow a certain discipline, and that is what I have been talking about. Never forget to practice Mangalacharan in the morning, and the moment you wake up, you reset your mind. We demand a mental maturity. You have to listen to something of the Eastern wisdom, the Satsang. You have to contemplate and reflect. You have to apply the wisdom throughout the day. You have to analyze every day to check if the mental maturity has come or not. The greater the mental maturity, you continue to have a burning desire and you continue to follow the discipline, you become a seeker. That is the ninth thought, the daily discipline. You reset your mind to Shreyas. Shreyas means the path that I am happiness. I have to rediscover my happiness. Sorry. Excuse me, the last thought. All our actions that we perform, all our action leads me to happiness. That is why I perform all my actions. So, but Master says, pay attention. You have two sets of desire in the same mind. Who does it? Free intellect. Oh, the path, the right hand path is the Shreyas, the left hand path is the prayers. Prayers is chasing happiness. I have all kinds of thought, feeling, emotion, action, motivation to chase happiness. The path of the Shreyas to rediscover happiness. But I cannot do without having a mental maturity. And then I recognize happiness helpline. It is totally another department. 90% of the people join meditation or mindfulness or Eastern wisdom or self-discovery to have the additional set of happiness. They think that I have to make an effort, I'm chasing happiness. It takes years together to recognize, to have a firm belief happiness is within you. Have a firm belief. Happiness is your nature. And then ask the mind. Anxiety? But happiness is my nature. How dare you come to me? How dare you come to me? Demands a mental maturity. So it means I have to inquire and drop all my belief where the happiness is not. There begins the satsang, and I already clarified it is not a lecture or a then 4 qualifications we have to follow, and the daily discipline by which I reset my mind to the path, right-handed path. The 10th point, the belief on trust. We don't say that you believe happiness is your nature. You start with a belief and let's have a try.
Yeah.
And belief on trust, so you start living consciously days after days. You are walking to the path of the Shreyas, and you find your real nature, not later but sooner.